Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the opening bell. I'm Ashley Reeve. It's good to be with you. It's a new trading week, the 22nd of June. If you're joining us for the very first time, a warm welcome to you. Before we get started with the session, remember the information we discuss in this video is opinion and should not be construed as advice in any way. And so then let's get kicked off this morning then with what's happening in the markets. Now, the start of the week is critically important because basically, market sitting in this kind of control tension is important. Nothing is breaking, nothing is panicking, but at the same time, we're not in a clean risk on either. Everything is still very headline and data driven, and so we must then take that into consideration. The US-Iran situation, for one, is the geopolitical situation there is that things are a bit calmer. We're seeing progress in talks, and the big thing is there's no immediate disruption risk coming through for oil. So markets are basically doing what they always do. They're pricing out the fear, and that's why you're seeing a bit of a risk-on tone. But the key thing is this can flip quickly, one headline, and the entire tone can change. And so we're looking then at a couple of things this morning. Let's maybe first give context in terms of the US 10-year yield sitting at 4.48%. This is the bigger driver, and it is definitely still the yield. We're drifting higher again, and the market is slowly accepting that rates might stay higher for longer, maybe even talk of another hike creeping in. And when yields do that, it basically means money is more expensive, liquidity is tighter, and that feeds straight into everything else. So it's still very much a rates are in control environment, and we're seeing that in the dollar here this morning, all right? The dollar is just staying strong. We're looking at the Euro USD, on that note. We're seeing that it's being backed by those higher yields and the Fed tone. And so what that's doing is it's weighing on other currencies, it's keeping commodities a bit capped, and just generally tightening global conditions. So it's not explosive strength, it's just persistent. And we're seeing that happen here in many of the major pairs. Euro USD, AUD USD, USD CAD has pushed up significantly, NZD USD as well. And I mean, let's not forget the USD JPY. The yen is very weak, guys. That's basically that rate gap theory there, the US rates versus Japan. Still massively wide, so that carry trade is very attractive for many investors. But at these levels, you're also starting to get into that zone where intervention risk becomes real. So it's not just a one direction trade forever, it's a trend with a potential shock risk sitting inside of it. And I think that's a very important point over there. Looking at the oil is easing a little bit. That's mostly the fear, the geopolitical fear coming out of the market. So for now, there's less fear of supply disruptions. You can see it right there. Softer tone in the crude, $78 per barrel. But if anything breaks in these talks that we see, the agreement, oil is still one of the first assets, the instruments that can spike again. So guys, this week particularly, we're obviously kicking it off nice and easy and clean, really more fundamentally based than anything else. We must be clear of that. The gold is also a very interesting one here, guys. It's a bit stuck. You basically got two forces fighting each other. One side, we have the safe haven demand. It's there. Nothing's fully stable yet. And on the other side, the strong dollar and the high yields are pushing against it. So what you're getting is a lot of choppiness, a lot of sideways movements, a lot of reactive price action, not a clean trend. And I think that's an important one for us to note here this morning on the opening bell. The same with the NZD, USD this morning, guys. Just weak overall. Not really New Zealand specific. It's more dollar strength doing the damage. So it's, until the dollar actually rolls over, currencies like NZD, the AUD, are going to stay under pressure. So watch the PCE inflation this week. It's really the main event. That's on Thursday. It's the Fed's preferred inflation reading. So the market, so the market will use this one, this one thing here to put a decision into place. Are we staying higher for longer, or do we start shifting towards easing the expectations? Everything else this week is kind of waiting on that. So maybe just to wrap it up this morning with a more fundamentally based opening bell. Geopolitics is definitely calming things down a little bit. Rates and the dollar are still the real drivers, and obviously the inflation data is the trigger that's going to decide the next move. So, it's not a directional market yet. It's more of a waiting for the next catalyst kind of a week. All right, so let's see what happens. This morning, again, it's more fundamentally based. It's not really, opening bell where we're looking at all of the technicals because we're not seeing any direction at this. This is actually just a move from last week Friday. Nothing massive happened. I mean, look at NZD, USD's, daily Friday candle of last week. Very small. Look at the oil. Crude oil, a daily, candle. Look at this one here, pretty small. The gold, let's go to the gold one there. This is last week Friday. Look at that. So there's nothing much here on Monday, but let's see what happens throughout the day. Do we break, above any resistance levels? Last week Friday's high there at $4,220 per ounce. Let's see if price breaks that today, because then obviously that gives us some fantastic insight into possibly pushing in that direction for further on in the week. All right. But this morning, really, guys, more fundamentally based traders, really looking, at what's happening geopolitically, those interest rates, and then obviously keep an eye on the Middle East. Look at that agreement, see if there's any tension that comes out of there, and if the oil disruption is disrupted. Nice play on word there for this morning with the opening bell. All right. From myself, Ashley Reeve, guys, I'd like to remind you, obviously, if you haven't opened that account with us yet, www.tdmarkets.com. care@tdmarkets.com is the medium that you'll use to reach out to our super support team. They're waiting for you if you have any queries, ready to sort it all out. And then obviously we'll catch all of the other guys on our trading rooms this week, Tuesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock. Don't be a stranger. Get on there, invite someone, and come and join us whilst we prepare and see what's happening on the markets. All right. But that's it from me this morning. Nice and easy, more fundamentally based this morning, guys. Not so much technicals. We are looking at how the week is kicking off. The gears are running, but we'll see how that turns into some momentum for the rest of the week. All right, have a good one. I'm Ashley Reeve here, and I'm checking out with the opening bell here this morning. Have a good one now. Ciao, ciao.